Yael Aldana is a Caribbean Afro-Latinx writer and poet. She is a descendant of the indigenous people of modern-day Colombia. Her work has appeared or is upcoming in Type House, South Florida Poetry Journal, Scapegoat Review, Cutbank Journal, and Slag Glass City, among others. She teaches creative writing in South Florida, where she lives with her son and too many pets. You can find her online at yalealdana.com. And she hosts a podcast titled Each Bring a Poem. And you can find it on any place you get a podcast, Apple or Spotify, etc. And with that, we give you Yale.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to read. It's so important for poets to share their work. We're alone at our little typewriters or with our little journals writing away. And the poems don't really come alive until they reach an audience. I am really excited today. 2 days ago, I submitted my full length collection to the publisher, so that's in the can. And most of the poems that I'm reading will be from that collection, but some of them are from my chapbook, which is called Aliens, and this is available through my website and the publisher Bottle Cap Press. And somehow my poems end up being about myself and the relationships that I have. And some of the poems about some people that you know, like Julie Marie Wade. Okay, so the first one I'm going to read is called For You, which is in my chapbook. For you, after Ada Limon, there was a time in the Pantheon, the time before quasars, the time before penumbras were invented, the time before souls, when we were twins clung together, brothers, sisters, who knows, but one skin, one gossamer bubble of thread, dark eye to dark eye. The residue adheres, sticky filaments on the wing. It arrows, it winnows, stretches thin as mylar. It is the most tapered kind of affection. I think that's one of my favorite poems, and it's about the sort of a strange relationship that I have where, from what I can tell, we can't stand each other. Like, we get on each other's very last nerve, but somehow we love each other. So I don't know how that works, but it works. So I write quite a lot about that to help me figure it out. And this poem is about the same person. It's called Amado de mi alma, which means beloved of my soul. If there was a pill, maybe red, liquid, thin, rubbered membrane, or maybe orange, oval, and smooth, that would sever the nexus between us, I would throw it down my moist, peached maw. He too would pinch it between his potato farmer fingers, muscle it dry across his tongue, sideways down his throat, greedily take it to be rid of me. We are all eye rolling, all lip curling, sneering resistance to all peace. We cannot stand each other, but we love each other. In this quiet, his dry, warm skin becomes mine. When in proximity, his chest opens, a galaxy. My universe spins into his, all hot plasma. We are luminous gas giants winking on and off, moving past, moving into one darkness, lighted cold fusion. He purses his lips as if to say, no, we cannot escape this gravity. I point my chin as if to say, yes, we have lured each other here. He lifts his dark, dark eyes to mine as if to say, no, we cannot escape this singularity. Thank you. I forgot to start my timer to keep myself honest. And this one is my first successful cento. I have been trying to cento for many years. And this is based on prose by Leah Pupura. Stay with me, a Leah Pupura cento. In this way, I begin to speak to him, slant and sidelong. It traveled jittery over the wrinkles of his forehead. Stay with me. Events will fit themselves into themselves. Stay with me. Something alighting, something bestowing. Was I awaiting some sign of passage? Did I expect finally the solemnity of procession, the stream of ceremony, not the hair braided by some woman's hands, her knuckles hard against his head, death gowned and dancing? Stay with me. I lived days as a crouch, everything cropped and focused, contained, naked, looked through and turned inside out and found lacking. How, even as I twisted free, I wanted to be caught, to know the dip of bone, the hammock of skin. How, what seemed, in the end, inevitable, is a trail of particulars finding each other, the stiff hairs that made nets to catch me. And these next three poems we can call the Julie Marie Suite. These are all inspired in some way by Julie. And if you are not familiar with her, you should become familiar with her. She is just a brilliant South Florida poet. This one is called Nameling. And I subscribe to this strange Twitter account that announces different weird words that are actually in existence. And this is a real word, Nameling. I want to be her nameling, her name twin, exactly the same. But if I can't have her whole, I want a part, a bit of, some extraction of Marie, Donna Marie, Julie Marie. It is the sound of the word, the name, Marie. First low rumblings of earth, then the sharp uptick of light at the end. Marie. Melissa Marie would be good, but I left that name long ago. Let it float away like the wiles of honeybees. Let it float away with its unkind origins. Melissa, named for a girl no one liked, her bad luck sticking like taffy. When I call my Donna, Donna Marie, people would say, why do you call her that? I would say, because that's her name. And this one is one of the poems I'm proudest of. And it came out of a very difficult situation. And some people have probably heard me read this before, where Julie helped me to get ready for something, an opportunity, and the person was very unkind to me. And I had to go and tell Julie, which was terrible because I knew it would hurt her to know that I was badly treated. So I wrote this in between me knowing would tell her and telling her. To watch her face fall. I am wounded. My washy, thin skin darkens with blood, frayed, open flesh, ragged at the edges. I don't want to tell her, to show her, but she will ask. I can bear it alone, the weight of this upset. Knit the lesion back before I see her. Continue the interlacing of fascia after I see her. Conceal the bruise, the sliced skin, but she will ask. I harrow, then sear, watching her face crest and fall, watching her shining shadow, if only for a few minutes, till her face brightens, till her mouth dances to distract from my harm. Our love is this silent chafing. Bodily harm becomes invisible shadowing, barely darkened imperfections, a closing over that will smooth, return to unblemished perfection to all eyes but ours, only us aware of the slight scar lightly covered in hair, smoothing over her face that fell. She cannot forgive because it was me. I cannot forgive because it was her face that fell. She wants to go back, soothe with words as slim as apple chips, soothe with her rhythmic voice that rises and falls in waves. Our faces slick over, leaving only the slight sharpening in the corners of the shields of our eyes, squinting, glinting black metal. She will say, it's all right, and not mean it. I will agree and not mean it. We will put our glossy heads together, draft plans for unnamed streets. She will hold my hand tighter, which is the only good bit, until I'm ready to leave the hearth of her protection, sheathed in armor we will temper anew. I did not let her know for like over a year that that poem was based on her because it was very embarrassing because it sounds so romantic. But to me, love comes in all different forms, and she's a mentor to me. And so that relationship is also about love. Uh, that's not necessarily romantic. Um, but fortunately, she took it well when she found out. And this one is based on a term that she uses in her latest book, which is Otherwise, published by Autumn House Press. She uses the term "I soften" often in that book, and I took that as inspiration. I soften. I soften away from the man at my editing job who tells me it is your reaction to perceived disrespect that's the problem. There is no disrespect. It is my problem, not his problem, my problem. I soften. I bend away, let him fall away from me like dry fall leaves, rustish red, marigold yellow, blood beneath the skin purple. I soften. I soften. My son's anxiety rushes at me, needle fine, targeted, directed at my solar plexus. He is collapsing. I must fix him. Fix me, mother. I am dying in this moment. I am dying. I know I am not dying, but I am dying. I am angry. I am busy. Why is there no wife to soothe me, his mother? I look for her. Oh, yeah, she doesn't exist. I soften. I soften. I remind him of the ancestors beyond the veil. Remind him Granny is always watching. Remind him he is the best boy with the one curl in the middle of his forehead. Remind him that his granny will come in his dreams to tell him so. My student tells me I am old. My student tells me I'm not a Latina because I don't speak Spanish. My student tells me my Spanglish is an invalid gringa nightmare. I think about snapping her head off, snapping her teeth out, cutting through her knees with a Brooklyn comeback. I soften. I soften. I tell her she has a pretty name. I tell her, like hers, my grandmother came from Colombia. That, like hers, my grandmother came with two squat braids, no English, and a tight smile. I soften. I soften. So this one is another Julie inspired one. Virgo Sun, Pisces rising. I have decided she is part angel. We have decided, not just me, more than one of us. She has been gifted to us. Maybe she can't escape back to the silvered walls of heaven, forced to stay here with us rebel. Maybe for stealing a frosted cupcake off God's table, forced to stay here with us. Her fingers, long and fine, clutching imaginary pearls, fingering life's crushing slights. Her voice, night, nightingale clear, her pain hidden by fine eyes, a light voice, an easy laugh. She deflects, but gives us, her students, selves to ourselves. She's born raw in her writing, her spidery, jittery handwriting, ragged, witty, piercing. Her words peer back at us, eyes unhooded and unflinching. So I created this series that lists people's astrological information as portraits. So that was the first one. Julie is a Virgo sun and Pisces rising. And this is for someone I know who is a Taurus sun, Taurus moon, Virgo rising. I recoil when she reaches for me, her touch, motherly, the brush of her fingers foreign, the stubby fingers that held similar affection, dust for 17 years in a Lakeland cemetery. When I fall, she catches me by the wrist, forgets I am a mother, forgets I am the family pack mule driven by coffee and will, reminds me that I am human, reminds me my feet were once small and kicked under maternal fingers, reminds me the world will still be there, bleeding demands after I take a nap. And this one is from that same series about somebody else. Aquarius sun, Leo rising, Virgo moon. His affection holds like still water, silver rivulets flashing, like metalled fish in cool dark depths. He is still there even when absent, a ghost, like two pollen-filled breezes stacked together. When you need him, curse him for his empty air, curse him because you want him close to you. He is there, thick shagged hair wedged under an army green hat. He says, yes, you can do it. Yes, I love you. Yes, I am busy. And he is gone again. His absence a type of presence. So this next one was about a relationship I had, a romantic relationship, where it just didn't work, but we always kept coming back to each other. And then finally we figured out it didn't work. And this was the last time we were together romantically and made peace with each other. The necromancer returns in distress. And this is in the book Aliens. I have never made love for comfort before. My clothes come off like wet tissue in your hands, the soulmate fire gone. Slim hips to slim hips. It is love still. Your voice vibrates hummingbirds in my ear. I laugh. We look like we are in love. We are not. But we love still. I don't want to go to the late night barbecue place. I go. Your hand warm, low on my back. We have never been so easy. Our knives sheathed. Dawn's tangerine clouds brings a new month. I watch you drive away in your blood orange SUV, free. I walk under the pink palmaria tree to my yellow door, free. Love still. This next one is sort of ode to the sociopaths in our lives. There's so many. And they can be hard to spot sometimes. Dear sociopath, I know you well. The woman that gave birth to me, but is not my mother, is one of your kind. I feel sympathy. I know, as a child, you went through things, terrible things. You separated. Your feelings fled, so you would not feel the full clench of adult hands on your spider thin neck. I know I am now an object to you, to dominate, to command. I understand that you do not feel. Your soft, warming thoughts waned and died, boxed and left uncovered in singeing heat. That feeling child died beneath broad adult fingers. I understand you only imitate emotions and that you are very good. But like all imitators, you make mistakes. I know the feel of you, the touch of you, a practice sense from my own childish lessons. Unlike you, I feel too much. Feel your cool sapphire heart muscle. And as you would do to me, I put you in a box, cover you over, label you not to be played with, make you an object, a translucent aquamarine cube. Do not touch. Thank you. So I am going to do two more. One short one. This is an ode to my time in New York. Stuyvesant Street Bodega. The dust-colored comma-shaped cat lays languid across the freezer, so I can't get the Haagen-Dazs bars. The new sour candy nerds are jumbled behind the old ones. Minerva, the Nuyorican with skin like wadded paper bags, likes when you pay in quarters. Her youngest son, Juan, with eyes the color of honey, hits on us junior high girls when we stop in afternoons, wants to know if we're going to use our bras as pooper scoopers for the dog wandering by. We don't answer. His older brother Felipe is tall and as thin as a cattail, knows our breakfast orders by heart. He slaps them. 3 coffees, light and sweet, 3 egg, ham, and cheese on everything bagels. When he's in a good mood, he winks. He calls my mother, Mrs. C, tells her he's brought her the good milk from the back. Minerva asks what we're learning in school. Ask us if we've reached the Roman pantheon. Ask us if we know she is named for a goddess. And my last one, single strand. The pull of a smooth single strand of hair beneath my watch strap reminds me of your coils I find coolly tangled in my fingers after you are well gone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yael. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad you joined us today and were willing to share your work with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.